Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett and thank you for spending some time with me today because in this video, we are talking all about kitchen decor that you should be prepared to let go of because we don't need it anymore and you don't have to replace it, okay? Call it decluttering if you want. Some of these things we can let go of and move on from. Now, the first thing we have to talk about is decor for the sake of decor in your kitchen. Your kitchen is for cooking. So we don't need to have a lot of decor that's just there to be cute and fun. You want cute and fun? Here you go, there you have it right there. Decor in your kitchen is just taking up space. And unless you've got a big kitchen and a lot of space, you don't need to have it. So, all of these sort of trendy things you see, very, very gently consider them. There was a big trend about like oversized pieces of fruit as decor in kitchens, and okay, that's fine if you want to have an apple 10 times the size of what it should be, but I don't think we need to do that. You need to be strategic about where you're using. So I'm always looking for beautiful utensils that will make sense in my kitchen. If I have to have it out, I want it to be beautiful, but it should also serve a purpose. I'm not filling my house with junk and I don't want you to either. This is not something I ever recommend to my clients. Things that are beautiful and functional is the way to decorate any space in your home, especially your kitchen. So look for beautiful small appliances on your countertops that tie in a color scheme. Even cookbooks, like a stack of cookbooks there, if you're actually going to use them, well, that's something good to have. And then a bookend can be decorative and that's pretty there and it's serving a purpose. Look for useful, intentional items to fill your space with, but don't overfill it too, because we need some countertop space, because when you're whipping up a meal for me, I don't want it to be all cluttered and mixed up, okay? I'm prepared to eat. And so we need some space in the kitchen to be able to prepare it. And I love that for you. And I love it for me too. Mostly I love the meal that I'm gonna get out of it, but that's beside the point. When it comes to decor on an island in a kitchen, right? Like, the open concept kitchen, super, super trendy for the last 20, 30 years, okay? We love that. And, I always like an open concept space if it's a smaller space because, it feels really big that way and you just get a lot of movement. But the open concept kitchen usually has an island. Islands are very large and they usually need a little bit of decor on them. And there's a handful of things that people like to put there. You may want to do a little charcuterie board. That's fine. You may want to do, a little bowl with some candy in it. Okay, I'm going to eat it all, but that's beside the point and that's okay. I actually like that. So, get some good candy in there too. Don't get the knockoff stuff. That's beside the point. You may be thinking a floral arrangement. A floral arrangement can be great on an island. Just make sure it makes sense. I like things that are a little bit low. I don't want some like big, obnoxious, tall floral arrangement in the middle of my house, making my kitchen look like full and cluttered and busy. So something low and pretty. But one of the weirdest trends of all time in decor for kitchens that people loved was, like a bowl with balls in it. And there's a time and a place on your kitchen counter. It's not the place that we need to see a bunch of balls. So let's not do that and do something more intentional, right? Like it was a bowl and you'd get like these mossy balls or like mirror balls or glass balls and they'd all be colored and stuff like that. Yeah, say goodbye to it. We don't need that. We can definitely do something that's more elevated and more intentional. A small charcuterie board, a mortar and pestle. Maybe you have a beautiful bowl staged on that, a charcuterie board, or maybe it's a floral arrangement of some sort. These are great things to do on an island instead of like a bowl with balls in it, as fun as that can be. And there's a time and a place. The kitchen counter is not that place, unfortunately. Now, I know decorating and decor and even renovations can be hard to do in your space. So if you are in the position where you're looking to revamp your home or just make a minor change, you may need a little bit of extra advice and some personalized advice. And I can give that to you if you book a one-on-one virtual consultation with me. We can do a tour of your home. You can show me around and I can answer any and all of your design questions. So be sure you head down to the description box down below or go to intro.co/GarrettLeChic and I'll see you over there. Now I'll see you there, but what I hopefully won't see in the kitchen is a fake plant. I don't want to see that in the kitchen in a specific area. What I mean by that is near your cooktop. When you're cooking, things get messy. And if it's not messy, the food's not good. So I want it to be messy, but I want it to be easy to clean. And having decor and decorations, especially something like a fake plant near your cooktop, is not easy to clean. And the reality is, you know, you need to put things around there that you can actually clean, because a fake plant, even a real plant, okay, is gonna get grime on it. It might get a little grease on it and stuff. And I don't want to see like a messy, dirty fake plant in the kitchen. Even if it was beautiful when it started out, it's not going to be for long. So don't be the person that's like, I need to have a gorgeous little miniature aloe plant on my countertop. Like, it's not giving what you think it's giving. Let's save that for somewhere else. And that somewhere else would be the store you saw it at. Yes, I'm telling you to leave it on the shelf, but that's beside the point. No, there's a million things you could do instead. Like, you know, get a beautiful set of knives, get a great, you know, cutting board that's leaned up against your backsplash to fill in that space a little bit, because the fake plant in the kitchen is kind of that reference to 80s colonial, the Tuscan style house that, you know, has like the grapevines and the little, you know, faux plant on top of the cabinetry looking like it's growing in from the outside. That didn't make any sense to me ever. I will tell you though, if you had it at the time, you were that girl. And I love that for you. But we're moving on. We're moving upwards and onwards away from the fake plants in the kitchen. If you want to bring florals into your home, if you want to bring a plant of some sort, let's make it, you know, an herb, right? Something that, you know, maybe you don't actually use it for cooking, but you could if you wanted to. That would be a sweet kind of, you know, cute little detail to bring into your space without you having to commit to like a fake plant or taking care of something extra that you can't even use even if you wanted to. Don't be that person. And also don't be the person that has this next thing, this next dated piece of decor that we can let go of. And that is art in your kitchen and word signs. Art in a kitchen is okay if it's placed properly, right? Because once again, kitchens are supposed to be used spaces. Like anything in there will get dust on it. If that surface can get built up on there, it will. Like the top of cabinets that don't extend to the ceiling, like it'll get messy there, and that's okay. But like, you know, let's avoid that anywhere we can. So I don't want to have artwork that's difficult to clean or wipe off. And basically what I mean by that is I don't want to have artwork that has no kind of frame or glass on it. Like if it has glass on it, it's easy to wipe off the glass. That's simple, that's easy. You can do it every day, you can do it every week, whatever, to prevent it from getting dusty or grease on it or anything like that. But if it's a canvas that's painted, you can't scrub that clean. I mean, you could, but you're gonna scrub the paint off of it too, and then where are you? So don't do something like that. Look for something that's easier to clean. On the other end of that, another piece of art that you don't need to have in your house is not something I would consider art. That's word art, because I just don't need to see it. I don't need to see the inspiration or whatever it's telling me or saying. If it says wine, like, I got it. Okay, like, there's wine. Like, cool. Thanks for telling me. But we know. Or if it's something that says gather. Let me tell you what. If I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking and I'm whipping up a storm, okay, I'm getting a meal ready to serve to everybody, I don't need you in the kitchen. You're taking up my space. You're blocking up the counters. I'm moving quick, okay? I'm fast. I'm getting all of this stuff done. Don't gather in here. Gather out there. Go sit somewhere else. Go sit at the island. You can watch the magic happen, but you don't need to be in the middle of it, getting in the way. I don't like that. So I don't want a word sign that says that. I don't want something that says like, oh, the chef is in. No, the chef is not in here, and he's not taking requests either, because you're going to get what you're going to get and you're going to eat it and you're going to like it. That's how it goes down in this household. But I think I saw one time that was like a sweet tea factory. A factory? An employee? Well, then cut the check, because I'm ready to clock out. Okay, don't be the person that has word signs that don't make sense in your home. You want to have one or two of them that's fun, cute, quirky, that, you know, make sense for you, that you really love and enjoy. Okay, be that person, that's fine. Make it funny if you're gonna do it, because we could all use a good laugh. Now, before we get into the next piece of kitchen decor that you should get rid of, I need to take a moment and thank you all, because I really appreciate you, and I'm coming up on my 5-year anniversary making YouTube videos and content, and I want to thank you all for being here, being a part of that journey. And I especially want to thank those of you who are showing up in the first hour, who are commenting and who are liking and engaging with my content, because it helps it get shared across the platform and it makes all of this happen. And I truly want to thank you and tell you how much I appreciate all of you. And if you're not already a part of our LeChic family, please take a moment, hit the subscribe button. It costs you nothing, but it means the world to content creators like me, and it helps us to grow our channel and our businesses and makes this possible. So please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below. Share your thoughts and opinions on everything in this video. And why don't you share with me one kitchen decor item you see in everybody's kitchen but you don't like and makes no sense. And while you're down there sharing your thoughts and opinions with me, please take a moment to make sure you have your bell notifications turned on so you get notified every time I upload a video. The next decor trend that's dated, that needs to go in a kitchen, it's a little bit of a gray area, and let's get into it. I have some examples I want to show you, and that thing is open shelves in a kitchen. I talked about this many, many times before. Like, people were talking about how great of a trend it was, and I was like, oh no, it's gonna get dusty and dirty and you're gonna have to clean it, and I don't wanna do that. And then everybody else watched my video and all of a sudden changed their tune when they were like, oh no, you don't want open shelves in a kitchen. I was the original who came up with that, okay? And yes, I am offended, but that's beside the point. Now, what you have to think about when it comes to open shelves in a kitchen is how close are they to the area that's going to get the dirtiest, and what do you need them for? So if you have a really big kitchen, you may just have open shelves to kind of break up a lot of cabinetry. However, in a small kitchen, sometimes this just really makes sense. So here's a kitchen where I don't think open shelves make sense. You can see here we have a window in the center with a sink underneath it. It's a small sink. I would need a sink like 2 to 3 times the size beside the point. The open shelves here aren't doing a favor to this kitchen. It's done in kind of a modern plywood box cabinet style. And if they had done cabinetry on either side of this window that extended all the way to the ceiling, it would have really filled it in. It would have bulked it up a little bit. It would feel less not finished because it looks that way. And we probably would have doubled the amount of storage space we actually have. Plus, closed cabinetry doesn't need to be styled or doesn't need to have as much space and doesn't have to look as good. So we could have fit a lot more stuff into the cabinetry and off of the countertop than we actually can in this space. Now, another space you have to see and check out is this one. There's some good here, there's some bad here. This kitchen is done in this kind of modern glam style, which is okay. Everybody's style is valid. And so, you know, maybe it's not to everybody's taste, but it's done well and that's fine. What I don't like about this kitchen, I think is pretty obvious to most people. I don't like the floral arrangement next to the cooktop. I think that's weird. I don't like the drapery on the window next to the cooktop because that's gonna get absolutely disgusting and it doesn't need to be there anyway, so I'd remove that. And I don't love the vent hood because it's just kind of this weird column thing and it feels too small for this for me. What I do like about this kitchen is the tiled backsplash. That's a great hack to get a luxury look and feel. So these are just oversized tiles that look like marble used as a backsplash. Genius. My favorite thing about this kitchen is actually the open shelving. This is a micro kitchen and it's open concept, so it feels a little bit bigger than it is, but it is a very small kitchen that does not have really any upper cabinets to store things. So in that instance, open shelves makes a lot of sense because you have to have them. These are glass shelves. There's a lot of simple and clean items on them, glass and white. They blend into the wall. They're not super busy or jarring. It's not decor. It's purely storage in this space. And it does make sense in that instance. The idea of open shelves in a kitchen isn't one I'm going to prioritize. It's not my first recommendation, but it's not something I'm going to write off either. It's kind of on a needs be basis. Another thing in kitchens that I don't like to see, and every time I see it, it makes me cringe internally because I just know how uncomfortable it is, and that is a bar stool with no back. Lots of kitchens have, you know, bar seating and, you know, counter height seating or bar seating, like all of these things. And that's all fine. You know, I prefer counter seating over bar seating because I'm not trying to sit up all high, swinging my legs like, you know, like I'm a little kid. Okay, I don't like that. I want to be closer to the ground because I think it's safer anyway for everybody. But one of the things I don't like to see is a bar stool with no back because it just looks uncomfortable. It looks like I'm gonna be hunched over and then my back is gonna hurt and I'm gonna be sore all after if I sit there for any period of time. I don't like that. For me personally, I will always opt for a bar stool that has a back on it. Not just a little sliver of a back. I like something that's a little more substantial. I'm trying to be comfortable. So I want a chair I can actually sit in and enjoy and relax and we can hang out in, we can be there for an extended period of time. I will tell you, bar and counter stools 100% are the hardest item to source. Of anything in your home, the hardest thing is a bar stool or a counter stool. Like, how do you find one that's really good? So what I always do is I look for something that resembles the style of a home, that looks similar to maybe a chair we have already or has a reference point to that, a color scheme or wood tone that'll tie in with everything, I will either look for things that feel good, that look good quality, or one of my favorite hacks to save money on bar stools because they're usually way overpriced and super expensive is to look for a dining table set. I don't like a tall dining table personally. I can't stand them. But when you get a set of them, they're usually like a really good deal. The table and chair set and it's, counter height table and chair set, they're a really good deal and you get 4 stools with it. And then maybe you either have that table cut down or you can donate it, you could sell it and just keep the stools from it for your kitchen island. 10 out of 10 idea, and I love that. There are just some things you may have to sacrifice on, so maybe you look for something that's like a leather bar stool or an alternative to that that's easy to clean so your home is always spotless, easy to take care of, but also super comfortable. Now that we talked about all of the dated kitchen decor items you don't need and we're prepared to say goodbye to, decluttering is necessary, be sure you check out this video right over here all about dated kitchen design that's back on trend, that's back in style, and you should save in your home. Be sure you check it out and I will see you over there.